Audience.
Sorry.
Hello, my name is Christy McMillan, and I am a committee member and team leader for UGA Heroes, which is an organization that improves the quality of life for children affected by HIV and AIDS in Georgia. HIV and AIDS affects over 12,000 children in Georgia, and Georgia ranks 8th in the country for number of pediatric HIV AIDS cases. There is not enough education provided for children to prevent future cases and decrease the increasing amount of people infected every year. We must start with the children in our own state before we can look at the problem globally or nationally. All need to be educated because anyone can be infected if the right precautions are not taken. We need to establish a program that educates children in at least middle school about HIV and AIDS, no matter where the school is located or whether it is public or private, to avoid any feelings of inferiority or discrimination. First, there is a lot of discrimination against people who are HIV positive, and that should not be the case. This discrimination leads many to oppose funding programs that help eliminate this major health problem. This problem comes only second to cancer for health problems in Georgia. Now, how is this right? This is just proof that there is not enough education about the disease and its transmission. Many of us believe that HIV and AIDS will never affect our life. The disease can affect anyone, directly or indirectly. According to the survey of Georgia residents on HIV and AIDS done by the Kaiser Family Foundation in 2004, over half of Georgians believe there is discrimination in the communities against people who are HIV positive. 44% of Georgians infected by HIV and AIDS are African American, but only 15% are whites. Georgia blacks are much more concerned about themselves and their children being infected than Georgia whites. Also in the UGA Hero program, 50% of the children come from a home with an annual income of $10,000 or less. From these facts, you can see that some communities have many more cases than others. There is less of an emphasis on education in these areas also, which shows the desperate need for more educative programs, especially in these areas. Different races and people of higher standards of living look down on those with higher risk of AIDS reception. Those with less risk in their area should learn more about the disease to protect themselves and inform those at a higher risk. That is why I come to you to help you see that this major health problem needs to be addressed and more support is needed to find a cure in Georgia before we look nationally or globally. There is no reason for anyone to feel inferior or be discriminated against because they are infected by HIV or AIDS or at a higher risk of receiving this disease because of where they live. The solution is to start in our middle schools in Georgia. Establish a program that is informative about the transmission of HIV and AIDS and the epidemic in Africa and the United States. Also, in the survey of Georgia residents on HIV and AIDS, you can see that a majority of Georgians believe there is not enough funding by the government to find out more information about this disease and its transmission, and too little is being done to prevent this health problem. According to AVERT, an international AIDS charity, in 2008, the people globally infected with HIV has increased every single year since 1990. As you can see, it is a growing health problem globally, but we must start decreasing the problem at home. Your help and support is needed to start this new program. Not enough has been done because there is too little support and too much opposition because many believe that it will never affect them and is not a serious problem. This new educational program will make no child feel inferior because it will be required in all areas, in all schools, public or private. A great focus will be on reaching those children that are in more higher risk areas. No child over middle school will be uneducated about the disease, and eventually the infections will begin to decrease until the HIV and AIDS threat is eliminated in the United States and no one will be discriminated against because they have the disease or are more affected by it. Now, I hope you see the problem facing Georgia today, the growing health problem, and the discrimination caused by this HIV and AIDS. Your support is needed to start this new program that is necessary to decrease the spread of HIV and AIDS in Georgia. If we start the education of our children, they are all educated about the health problem at the same level, there will be no feelings of inferiority due to one's susceptibility to this disease. I want all of you to know that we cannot help the world without helping ourselves first. The children here in Georgia are our future, and we need to support the establishment of this program in all middle schools to prevent a larger epidemic facing Georgia and stop the spread of this terrible disease. I hope you will join me in the effort to convince the government that we need help to decrease this growing health problem.